cappers, gamblers, punters, hustlers, low baggers? It is Wednesday, February 13th at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Man, I spent the last 4 hours at the hospital. I came back and shit from my desk is now part of our set, but we're going to work with it. Shout out to everybody joining the show. We have a packed show right now. We have J Money is Money ready to rock. We're going to bounce through these two hockey games in a minute or two. And then we have Maxwell Smart to break down this big college card. Drew got us off to a great start in the morning show. Want to first give a shout out to Parlay Poppy, VA Sleeper, Daryl Newman, Dan Kelly, Vancouver Brooks back in action, Hobart Herberger, Robert Preston, Daryl Newman, Jay Peach, JD, Base Kniff, Court Wiley, Nutflush, Alan, Dom, The Don, Mally Mal, Cammy Gopher, Odar Lira. What a great group. First off, I got bad news hospital. They took a look at my lungs and it does not look good. And I've got a 3 to 4 month recovery time, which is unbelievable. I'm never sick, and now I've got 3 to 4 months of this bullshit. So, I don't know what to say about that. You're going to be seeing a sober Jimmy. I don't know how long that will last. Maybe I'll just fall apart in a drunken, weed-smoking mess, and who knows what's going to happen. That's part of the reason why you come to the show. You never know what's going to happen. As you can probably tell already, my partner, Lodels Loshak, is not with us. They even moved his sign over there, unbeknownst to me. That sign will be back in action because this is the Loshak and the Bag Show. So that will be back. Other than that, let's get to work. We got off to a great start on the morning show. I know Max already gave out Army, and a lot of people backed that up. First off, Edmonton at Pittsburgh. We know Malkin's not going to be in the lineup. We know Mada is hurt. I don't know if Schultz is going to be in the lineup. They've been waiting to hear if Schultz is going to come back from the 4 months he's been out with an injury. I believe, what was it, a hand injury? What the hell is Schultz? Oh, sorry, broken leg. Way off. Zach Aston Reese, fourth line, is going to be back in the lineup. This is a rested Oilers group, a rested, terrible hockey team. Both the Oilers and the Ducks are rested. Oh, I'm not even looking at the camera, am I? Sorry, everything's changed. Fuck, excuse me. The camera's not in front of me anymore. The camera's over there. Wow, okay, shit. Sorry, I wasn't even looking at the camera. We have a new camera. All right. God, I'm sorry. It's been a mess, man. I've been a mess. Okay. That's where the camera is. My fault. Thank you, Rafa. What the fuck am I looking into this bright light anyways for? Like that fucking light of death staring me in the eyes. Okay, let's keep rolling here. So I'm on the under 6.5. Why don't we take a quick look and see if there's been movement on this? Because I want to get to J Money as soon as possible. As you can know, the TriCast is, God, sorry, I'm just used to looking up in the air. I'm a little off. Okay, I gotta look over here now. God, sorry. Okay, so let's take a quick look at the moves in the Edmonton-Pittsburgh game. The total, I was on under 6.5, and I should have just waited. It was stupid to make this move in the morning. The market does not agree with me at all. I think this is under 6.5 written all over it. And then we have Vancouver-Anaheim, which has become a very interesting spot because we have the debut. Of course, they're not going to go back with Chad Johnson. He's awful. We have a debut for Kevin Boyle. Now, he has been in one game. He played 40 minutes in the game this year. He allowed 2 goals. Undrafted out of Manalapan, New Jersey. 26-year-old Kevin Boyle was in the USHL. Then was on the West Side Warriors. Wow, in the BCHL. I've spent much time on the West Side. I know that area well. And then he went and played for UMass Amherst and then UMass Lowell. And then he went to the ECHL with the Utah Grizzlies. He spent the last 3 seasons with the San Diego Gulls and put together pretty nice years. I think this is a great move for the Ducks. An absolutely great move going with Boyle. Now, if Markstrom wasn't in goal I keep looking straight. If Markstrom wasn't in goal for the Canucks, I would be on the Ducks tonight. And you know what? I still might jump on the Ducks tonight. It does seem to have value at a big plus line. So that's what's up. Okay, we got a great group of... Gay Pesky says, enjoy a few months of sobriety. When you recover from your illness, you will be stronger. You can accept a diagnosis, but you determine the prognosis. Wow, Gay Pesky. That is beautiful said. Jose Villegas says, LA is the remedy to cure Jimmy. I hope so. I hope so. Okay, so I need to look at this camera now. Okay, so now Rafa, this is what it's supposed to look like, right? Okay, so I'm going to have to sit diagonal. Sorry. Okay, so That's the hockey card. I don't want to spend any more time on it. Kimey Gopher says, look at the sign, no LoShack. We're going to get LoShack sign back up here. Listen, I just rolled into the office from the hospital, and, there's my hat's on the desk. There's a basketball beside me. The camera isn't right there. It's going to take a little getting used to, but don't worry, Kimey. We will get LoShack sign right back up. Okay, that's what's up. I'm only on the under 6.5. I can understand plays on Pittsburgh puck line because Edmonton is so trash, but we're talking about a Pittsburgh team without Malkin. I think they'll play a conservative style, especially missing a defenseman. And then I can understand backing Anaheim with Bob Murray, the general manager who put this team together behind the bench. I can understand those things, but let's not bother with this anymore. Let's get right into the NBA card. And without further ado, let's welcome Jay Money is Money joining the show. How you doing, Jay?
What's up, Jimmy? It's always nice to be on with you, man. Y'all know I'm going to be here every Wednesday on the LoBag show, hot and ready, man. You know what I'm saying? So I'm ready to break down whatever you need, man. I do have a college game to give out, though, because it does go off before the show. So I'll give that out to you guys as well.
Perfect. But let's hammer through this NBA card right now. A lot of opportunities. Not only jumped on one play on the early show, that was the over 231 in the Nuggets game. So let's break down this NBA card. Let me get the most recent line moves ready to go. And let's start with this Brooklyn at Cleveland spot. It's stuck since the early show. Brooklyn 7.5-point road favorites. This total has crept up all day. It was 222.5 when we had the morning show. Now 224.5. Nets at Cavs. Jay Money, what are you thinking here?
Yeah, this as far as me, I see that this spread is moving towards 8. It may have moved back down to 7.5, but it did hit 8 pretty much everywhere at some point. This is a revenge game for the Nets. They have already played twice this year. The away team has won and covered both times, but the Cavs went into their house and beat the Nets by 2 points on the 3rd of December. I mean, we know the Nets weren't playing just well then, but we still think they were the better team. But like I say, it's a revenge game. I like the Nets to come out here and really just blow the Cavs out. It shouldn't be close in theory. We know we've been seeing a bunch of fugazi stuff going on lately, but the Nets coming off 2 losses, they gave the Raptors a damn good game. You know what I'm saying? Almost won that game, only lost by 2. I feel like they will come out here hungry and will blow the Cavs out of the water. You see this line moving up. No Kevin Love in the lineup tonight. The Cavs are coming off a win. We all know that they really don't want to win games right now, even though it seems like they're playing competitive. At the end, they really try to lose the games. You pretty much almost saw it versus the Knicks. They were up, and then you look back at it, and then it's a close game. It's almost like they were trying to hand the game away to them. I don't think this game will be close tonight. I like Nets all the way. This game should not be close.
Interesting. Dennis Selleck going against the movement towards the over, liking the under. Team Money says, I like the Nets too. What do you think of this total shooting up to 224.5? Does that make sense to you?
You said, what did you say, Jimmy? I'm sorry. I'm looking at the chat, man. What was you saying about the total?
It's shot up to 224.5. My man Dennis is already liking the under and watching it creep up. Do you understand why this total's gone up?
Yeah, that's a bunch of points, Jimmy. You with some of these, I'm not on the total, but you would almost have to agree with the line move here. I wouldn't necessarily fade the line movement with it moving up 4 or 5 points. That's almost telling you something. The money is obviously coming in, slamming the over. Apparently people like this shit a lot. I can't say I do think there will be points. The Cavs, they can score points or give up points if anything, not necessarily score. But what I'm saying is, at some point they have some players they can still score the ball. That's my point. They're not great scorers. We know this, but they don't really play defense. We know that the Nets, they can sort of get up into an up and down game, but I like the Nets team defense. That's the reason why I'm not taking the over here. I can understand why people would take the under. If you look at this line move, I couldn't bet the under here, seeing it moving damn near 5 points.
Yeah, I agree, but I can understand thinking that, you know what, I think the better spot here is if you like the under, to take the Cavs team total under. I just don't like taking a team like Brooklyn, 12-16 on the road to win a game on the road by double digits. That just doesn't feel like a safe spot for me. At this point, I'm going to stay off Nets, Cavaliers. Let's move on to Bucks at Pacers. I had a lean to the Bucks this morning, and there was some 3.5s I could have got unbelievably. Now, no 3.5s and no 4s either. Only 4.5s on the board, a 5 at Bovada. This total stayed at 218.5 all day. What are you thinking here, Bucks at Pacers?
Yeah, Jimmy, just real quick to add about that. If you do like the under in that game, there would definitely be the side that I would look to would be Cam's team total under. And that's actually a damn good point, and I might bet there with myself. I don't necessarily like the under in the game, but I don't like the Cavs to get a bunch of points. Kevin Love being out is not really that big of a deal because he pretty much came back. But on that team right now, he's their best player, so they will take a little bit of a toll. And I'm just not a fan of the Cavs as a whole. So in this game, I don't see the Cavs scoring a whole lot of points. And I know that, you know what I'm saying, it's hard to lay almost double digits with these road favorites. But, we're talking about a Cavs team, and they're coming off a win. I definitely don't see them trying to win games back-to-back. We know that the Nets coming off 2 losses. They damn near went into Toronto and beat the Raptors. I love the Nets there. As far as this Bucks game, we know that the Bucks have not lost in a revenge game all year. So, you know what I'm saying, and they're covering off of losses. So they hadn't lost the last game. They went and beat up on the Bulls. But we know that this is a big game for the Bucks. We know that they have to take advantage of beating the Pacers without Oladipo. Even though they've been playing well, they still don't have their best player out there. You know what I'm saying? So they've somewhat figured it out. I'm sorry, I got ads playing this shit on my computer, man. But I like the Bucks here. It's basically, you know what I'm saying? I can understand why people would take the Pacers. They're hot right now. They're at the house. But, the Bucks right here, Indiana beat them the last time out at the house, and Bucks only got 97 points. They're going to be pretty pissed, man. I like the Bucks here.
I like the Bucks here too. I think I am going to make a move on this road team. It's a small enough spread that they can cover it if they're up in the last minute with foul shots. Indiana at home. I know they've won 6 straight without Oladipo. What do you think about this total? Red Girl coming in liking the under, Team Money liking the under, Jay Peach liking the under. A lot of people liking the under here. What do you think about this total at 218.5? Hasn't moved all day.
Yeah, and I lean to the under as well. We know that the Bucks can lock down, but the only thing is with them, when they get hot from 3, man, they can put up 130 like it ain't shit, man. We know Giannis, nobody's really stopping him. He's starting to get his jump shot right. You know what I'm saying? He's even starting to shoot some pull-up threes, you know what I'm saying, in a certain game. He's starting to feel it right now, so watch out. If he get that 3-pointer, y'all better watch out. Some real shit. Like, the Bucks are going to be too nice. That's the only thing that Giannis was missing. But, no one can stop him going to the hole, and that's the only thing. The Bucks are they're a really good offensive team. But I always say in these with this tight Eastern Conference matchup like this, it could always be like a playoff game. So I could never shy away from taking the under in these type of games because it's going to be high intensity. There will be some defense played in this game. So I could definitely see why people, you know what I'm saying, would take the under here. As far as me, I'm not on the total. I just had to kind of sort of had to stay towards the side. And even as far as the side, it's not even that big of a game because, really, this is kind of sort of like a toss. The Pacers, you don't really want to fade them right now. They're at the house and they're rolling, but I just feel like the Bucks are a much better team. And that stat, you know what I'm saying, with them being off revenge games, they hadn't lost all year, 8-0 already. So I would have to ride that. I can't say I took the Bucks money line. I didn't want to lay the points with them on the road, but I could definitely see if, you know what I'm saying, why they like the under there.
I am going to back the Bucks here. I just feel like without Oladipo, Pacers being 22-7 at home, doesn't really matter. You know what? I'm going to dive into some more stats here and pull out before I jump on Indiana here. But I'd like to move on to Detroit-Boston because I tell you what, Rozier out now. We know that Kyrie is out. I love me Marcus Smart. If I'm going to get more Jaylen Brown, I love that. I love the intensity these guys bring. I think that without a point guard, the under is in play. And I know this might sound crazy, but I see Rozier out of the lineup, and I think, God, Boston can beat Detroit by 4 points. That's just my feeling. I haven't made a move on it. What do you think of this Detroit-Boston spot?
Yeah, the whole thing. I'm gonna be perfectly honest. I love the Celtics lineup over the Pistons. The whole thing is, you got Rozier and Irving out tonight. We know that when Irving sits, Rozier has to step up. He's their backup point guard. He comes in and starts. The Celtics are off of pretty much a huge win. We know playing a damn good 76ers team. You went into Philly and beat them while they're rolling right now. Got some new players over there. They're stacked. and you went in there and beat them. So, you know what I'm saying? This is just the last game. They could possibly have a letdown, I feel like. I mean, this, you know what I'm saying? This was just last night. And then you come back to the house, you face a Pistons team who is trying to, you know what I'm saying, pretty much starting to figure it out. They're 4-0 ATS and straight up on the last 4 games. So it's a tough one, man. I mean, these teams have played 3 times already this year. And the reason why I say I like the Celtics lineup much better is because these teams played a home and home. The Celtics, you know what I'm saying, blew them out the first time in Detroit, and then they come back to the house and the Celtics beat them again. That lets me know that the team is just better, because usually when you see teams even just a little bit, you know what I'm saying, somewhere close, a home and home, usually the other team that loses the first game, you know what I'm saying, wins the second one. But Detroit, they did make it close, but the Celtics, they seem to just dominate the Pistons, and they're at the house. I like the Celtics where they play defense. They are stacked, but I can't take them without Irvin and Rozier. I'm sorry. I would have to lean to the Pistons here. I didn't bet it. I would definitely take a look at the under here, but I can't bet the Celtics tonight coming off their huge win and without their 2 top point guard.
Okay, first off, and great breakdown there. But let me go over this. This is who the Pacers have beaten on the 6-game winning streak. They beat the Heat, the Pelicans, the Lakers, the Clippers, the Cavs, and the Hornets. A bunch of bums. This is just like in NHL the last 2 nights. We had the Kings come into Washington. The Kings were playing good hockey, so we got value fading them. Last night, we had value fading the Blackhawks, a bad team on a winning streak. This winning streak is fake, and I'm taking the Milwaukee Bucks to win here. I'm getting -4.5 and -103. Listen, Jay, I had to lean to the Pistons, but something has changed, and that's Marcus Smart. I want Marcus Smart to have the ball for 30 minutes. I want Marcus Smart and Jaylen Brown to know that they need to have the ball. I feel like this is extremely appetizing. Boston going back-to-back and beating the Pistons. I guess I need Luke DM saying Pistons and Portland both money line. Listen, I can understand anybody being on the Pistons here. Frank Rizzo says, I love Detroit tonight. I have to tell you, I'm in love with Marcus Smart, man. He's so tough as nails. You think that Reggie Jackson, you think the Pistons guards are going to be able to get any run on Marcus Smart and Jaylen Brown? Dennis Selleck says Horford's limited tonight. Sean Mundy says Celtics roll. The Celtics roll.
Jimmy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you, I'm not so sold on Marcus Smart. I like him. He's a great defender. He plays good defense. I'm always a fan of someone that plays lockdown defense. I love this shit. You know what I'm saying? But just me personally, as far as him being the point guard out there, if they are gonna have him, I hadn't saw the starting lineups just yet. But if he is starting at the point guard, I would have to take the Pistons, man. I don't think Marcus Smart is a true point guard at all. If anything, when he comes out there, you know what I'm saying, he plays a shooting guard, maybe small forward. He's mostly out there for a defender. As far as running the offense through him, I'm not a fan. I would even put Tatum. On there before I put Marcus Smart at the starting point guard for the Celtics.
I'm not just, I'm in a bad mood, and I'm going to try to get out of it, and I know you guys will get out of it. I was hated the, getting told I got 3 more months of this shit, 3 to 4 months of this shit. I'm not going to just make a point and go against you guys. That doesn't make sense to me. But I tell you what, I'm not going to need over 54% when I'm like, no, Jay, I don't agree with you. I'm going to go against you. I'm not going to. So I'm not going to take Boston here, but I like them. I like Boston here. King Rail says Jay Money's right, Jimmy. Okay, well, I won't take the Celtics, and we'll see what happens at the end of the game. Sixers at Knicks, and it looks like the Sixers have everybody in the lineup. Let me just quickly double check that. I mean, we are talking about a fear that maybe Philly would rest somebody, and at this point, it doesn't look like they are doing any of that. Let me get to Philly. Doesn't look like they're doing any of that. Knicks are trash. They're at home. They're 10-point favorites originally, now 9.5 at some books. What are you thinking here? Sixers at Knicks, Jay?
Yeah, I want to take the Sixers. I can't say I'll put out a parlay for you guys on Twitter. I've been at work all day, man. I hadn't a chance to barely even be on Twitter. I said last night that I like the 76ers to come out here and smash the Knicks. I still feel that way, but here's why I didn't take the -9, and it's moving up to -9.5. The 76ers, they already beat the Knicks this year, not this calendar year, but this, season 3 times already. So this is technically triple revenge, man. So I know the Knicks are absolutely terrible, but the last time Philly went there, the Knicks gave them a game. I know it's a different Knicks team, but the 76ers barely won that game. They only won by 3 points. That scares me because we know the both home games, the Philly, they're a totally different team at the house. But you're asking me to come and lay almost 10 points on the road. That's a bit tough. I definitely think that 76ers will win this game. I don't see them winning. I don't see the Knicks win. The Knicks are tanking. We know it. They're not really trying to win games. Even though they got a few new players over there, I don't see them win this game. It's just I could see the 76ers win this game by 6 or 7 points. That's the only reason why I can't take the 9.5. I do like them to come out here and show their frustrations on them for that bad loss last night. But, like I say, they just had a really tough game last night, and you're traveling to the Knicks, who will get up for this game. Maybe if they're not even trying to win, they will still get up to play. The players will. The owners may not want them to win, but the players still want to win. So it's just a tough one. They will run everybody. I still like the 76ers to win. It's just about how much.
Yeah, I feel that. I just but I said this exact same thing. When the Pacers were going into Chicago. King was like, listen, Pacers, excuse me. It was the Bucks. Bucks going into Chicago 2 nights ago. I said the same thing. I said, you know what? I'm just not going to take these road double-digit favorites. And all game I thought I was right. And then the Bucks pulled away late. And, I'm having a tough time with NBA. I needed that win. And King was absolutely right on that spot. This seems like another spot that could be just like that. Do you think that these... And Frank Rizzo says Knicks tonight. Luke DM is on the Knicks +9. Fred Gialli says Sixers cooled off a bit. Raven and Desert exactly Knicks plus money. Don't you feel like it's possible that Sixers are angry about what happened last night against Boston and want to come out and smash this Knicks squad?
Yes, I do. And I definitely feel like they'll do that. It's just I can't say yesterday I had some favorites, and the way this shit ended, man, I can't say I'm not the one to say the games are fixed, but it just looked super fishy. The Spurs were up. They had got a double-digit lead, and it's like they just pretty much let the Grizzlies almost damn near come back and win the game. And we know everyone was on the Spurs yesterday. You know what I'm saying? It's a few other it was a few other spots, but they looked like good spots. And they just barely squeak away to win. Even the Warriors, they had took the lead, was up by 11 points. I thought the Jazz weren't going to cover. I had the Jazz, and then they ended up covering pretty much by 1 point, or depending on, the spread that you had. So I can't say that I'm scared away from it. I think the 76ers will come out here, in the first quarter and first half and just never look back. The Knicks aren't a good team. I would say if you do like the Knicks in this game, plus the points, I would just say take the over. We know that the 76ers are going to push the shit out the pace every single chance they get. The Knicks had been scoring points, but if they get up in this game and they run the pace with the 76ers, it should be easy baskets pretty much both ways. So I do like the over, and I lean towards the 76ers. It's just that with me, I know sometimes I buy points. I won't suggest you guys to do that, but in my book, the most points that I will buy is 3 points, and I did that, with parlaying it with something else. So I don't want to give that out to you guys, but it's just that 76ers, man, minus that 9.5, it's pretty tough to lay on the road. You already saw them come and play the Knicks and only win by 3 points. But I definitely think the 76ers will be pissed off here tonight.
Yeah, this is going to be a stay-off game for me. All right, let's move on to – now, we got to be fast. I got to speed up the pace here a little bit. We got Washington at Toronto, opened at 10.5, now 9.5. No Kawhi, no Van Fleet, and they're going to cover double digits at home. They haven't been covering double digits with those guys in the lineup. I'm not going to take Raptors first half, even though I don't dislike it that much. What are you thinking, Wizards at Raptors?
Yeah, exactly. I would have to lean to the Wizards here. The only thing is the Wizards don't really have any bigs. Whatever bigs are out there, for the Raptors, just gonna absolutely eat. Gasol, Ibaka, they're gonna get pretty much every single rebound out there. Not every single, but you guys know what I mean. It won't be many offensive rebounds and shit like that for the Wizards. It's a miss, and you run your ass back down the court. You're not getting it much second chances. That's the whole thing. The Raptors are a crazy team. Sometimes Leonard will sit out or Lowry will sit out, and then they'll still come and blow you out. So I've seen it happen. They have won 5 straight, but you just have to worry about their mindset in this game. We know that they'll, want to win. You want to win every game, but covering by double digits is a whole nother thing. And the Wizards, even though they don't have size, they have guards and they're scrappy and they can make 3-point shots. That's mainly the way that they stay in their games. If they're not hitting the 3-pointers, they're totally out of it and they'll lose by 30 points. But they tend to make their 3-pointers and they kind of sort of guard the 3-point line a little bit better ever since John Wall has been out. So getting this many points with no Leonard, I would have to lean to the Wizards, but technically my money won't be on the Wizards tonight.
Yeah, and people asking about the total in this game. I mean, they only put up 112 points against the Pistons without Satoransky, or Wall. Satoransky is not going to be in the lineup, I assume, right now. And then we're going to have the, McRae in there and Chasen in there. It's going to be a mess at point for Washington. And no backup. That does sound interesting. What do you think about hitting this under 232.5 Washington, Toronto? We're going to have backup point guards. It could be a mess offensively, and Washington is so bad defensively, so bad, but they could only score 112 on Detroit. What do you think about making a move on the under? I know that's a horrifying thing to do with Washington, but what do you think of the under 232 with Washington, Toronto?
Yeah, it's definitely a horrifying thing to do. And if Satoransky was in this game, I would be on the Wizards. That's the thing that's keeping me off. You really already not a super deep team. You know what I'm saying? He was starting there for a second. I mean, he had implemented himself to the starting lineup. And then now, out the last game and it showed. And then, probably out for this one. That's the reason why I can't put my money on the Wizards. But if he was in, I would definitely be on him plus the 9.5 or the 10. I would have took him plus 11, even if Leonard was in. Wouldn't be worried about it because I don't think that the Raptors will be totally up for this game. But the past 6 games for the Wizards have went over, and the past 7 of 9. So looking at that, I can't bet a Wizards game under right now. That's just me. But I mean, you guys could definitely be up to something. Obviously, without Leonard being out, and if the Raptors don't really just care for this game or really get up, they won't be running and gunning. They'll do it methodical, run some plays, get your feet a little bit wet before this break.
It makes sense to me. I'm jumping on it. Under 232.5 at minus 103. The Raptors just need a win here. I don't see how the Wizards are going to be able to put up enough points. I like that under. We've got to move really quickly here. It's time. We're going to have to get Max on here very, very quickly. So let's see if we can do this in like under 30 seconds a game. Let's go Grizzlies at Bulls. This is both teams I find very difficult right now. Obviously, the Grizzlies have some light, but they're on the second half of a back-to-back. The Grizzlies, the total's gone up to 208, and let's see what the spread has done. It had moved up a point in the Bulls' direction. It's now come back. Bulls 2-point favorites. Do you have a play here?
No, sir, I don't. And can I please, Jimmy, I just want to ask you, I'm sorry, if anything on that game, me personally, I would stay away. I know, guys, we have a show, coming up in an hour on King's Court. I'll explain everything. I have to use the rest of my time to explain to you guys why I am on the Blazers tonight. You see the Warriors, come on, man, they're the best team in the league. No one can beat them. They're pretty much going to win every game. Not so fast. Not tonight, man. They off a back-to-back, off a tough game. I've been eyeing this spot for a whole week now. They just had a tough, revenge game versus the Jazz, who played them very well, I might add, who damn near beat them last night. You have to pull away late in the fourth quarter. No Cousins tonight. Maybe Iguodala is probably going to rest tonight. If he had a bad hamstring last night, he's not going to play, man. Give me the Blazers coming back to the house off 2 losses. The Warriors are 0-4-1 ATS, their last 5. Plan on 0 days rest. Give me the much rested team. They know the Warriors. This is a revenge spot. They already beat the Warriors this year. They played 3 times. They lost against them once, beat them at their house in overtime. Then they lost most recently by 10. It's a revenge spot. Give me the Blazers money line tonight, plus 130.
Blazers money line. I can understand that. King Rail was on the over on the early show. What do you think of the over in that spot?
Yeah, I like the over in that spot. You just hope that the Warriors, you know what I'm saying, are motivated for this game. You're going to need them to help them with this over. Me personally, I like the Blazers defense. When they really want to play defense, they can lock up. I've watched this team plenty of time, especially when they have Mo Harkless in the lineup. He's almost like their X factor. They have some really good defenders over there. But when they get scoring too, when Dame and McCollum, they even got Nurkic going down, man, you really look at it, the Blazers play totally different at the house. I love this spot. Nothing is guaranteed. Me personally, I'm on the Blazers on the money line. I got them at plus 135, and I'm on it again plus 130, and I'm probably going to hop on them again, man. I love the Blazers tonight. They could lose, but this is going to be a spot where I think the Golden State, they're melded in. They're ready for the All-Star break, man. All their players damn near in the All-Star break. It's not like the Blazers, you know what I'm saying, where they have just a couple of players or, you know what I'm saying, one player or something. The Blazers go all out tonight to get this win, man. Nothing is guaranteed, but I like the Blazers tonight. And as far as the total, I do lean to the over with real.
Yeah, I think that over is a very, very interesting spot. Wow. And also Dan Kelly liking first half Portland money line plus 105. Okay, let's just finish it with this. This is one lean I almost made on the early show. I like Rockets to take out Minnesota here. I think the Rockets need this game. I think they need to roll into the All-Star break. Harden is playing. He's looking everybody everybody knows his shoulder's hurting, and he's going to be playing. I just feel like the issues at point may be fixed with Teague coming back. Maybe. But Teague missed a lot of action with that ankle. I'm sure his ankle's not 100% after the game. What do you think of Houston? There's now 3.5s, back to 3.5s. There's a lot of 4s on the board earlier. What do you think about Houston on the road at Mini tonight?
Yeah, I want to take the Rockets so bad. I mean, we know that the public is heavy on them, but I mean, technically, this is y'all know me, man. With this revenge game, y'all can call me Revenge Game Jay. I just love revenge spots, man. Something that I think that, you know what I'm saying, mentally the players get ready for. You've heard players say, "Oh, we had this," you know what I'm saying, circled on the spot. Not necessarily this game, but when I hear players say shit like that, you know what I'm saying, it makes me think they know when they've lost to a team or they kicked their ass. The last time the Rockets went there and only scored 91 points. The Houston Rockets, you know what I'm saying, the rolling, high-flying offensive team, you know what I'm saying? So I do like them to exact some revenge tonight. It's just the fact that will it come down to the wire? I'm not a fan of Minnesota. I was on them pretty big the last game versus the Clippers. I like that spot for them. Here, not so much. I like the Rockets lineup pretty much from top to bottom over the Timberwolves. That's one thing I look at is lineups. Karl Anthony Towns will probably eat tonight. I feel like he would probably have to go for like 40 points for them to win. He will have a good game, but as far as the rest of the players in their guard, they don't really even have anyone. They need Covington for this game. They don't have anyone to guard Harden out there. Give me the Rockets here. I can't say, me personally, I took them on the money line. I can't give you guys the spread because I'm not on it. So I lean to the Rockets will win, but could possibly come down to it. I've seen some crazy shit here lately. That's why I've been taking these money lines right here before the All-Star break.
I'm jumping on the Rockets. I've heard enough now. I'm on the Rockets full game. I'm not going to double up first half full game. I'm just going to take Rockets full game minus 3.5. All right, Jay Money's been spectacular here. Thank you for all your help. I'm just going to quickly go over what I'm on. I'm on the under 6.5, Edmonton at Pittsburgh. I'm not on the Vancouver Ducks game. But I do think this kid, Kevin Boyle, can play the goaltender for the Ducks. And I don't think that the over is a walk in the park in that game there. And I don't think the Canucks are an easy spot either. And then in NBA tonight, I'm on the Bucks minus 4.5 and minus 103. I'm on the Raptors Wizards under 232.5. I am on the Rockets full game minus 3.5. I'm on the Nuggets over 231. And I'm thinking about the Blazers, thinking about the over. Going to spend some more time on that, but we got to get into college basketball. Jay Money, thank you so much for joining us. Where can we find you on Twitter? And what else are you up to this week?
Yeah, man, and I'm going to give you guys my college play real quick. Not a large breakdown. I'm on St. Louis today. I did get them at minus 5. It's at 6.5 tonight. I don't think that it'll be close tonight versus George Washington. George Washington been a covering machine, but I like St. Louis, you know what I'm saying, to win this game tonight. They haven't been doing so well lately. They did beat Dayton, lost to St. Joe's by 30. They bounced back tonight, man. Y'all go follow me on Twitter right now if you're not already, at JMoneyIsMoney, and y'all tune into King's Court, man.
Awesome. What a great guy. What a great capper. Thank you for joining us. St. Louis does seem like a lot of value, but we need to get Max in. Max, sorry it's taking so long. Max, Smart, how you doing, my man? How things?
Good luck. I'm doing all right today. It's pretty snowy and cold here, so that sucks, obviously. But I capped a lot of these games, and I'm ready to get down to it. So let's make some money.
Let's make some money. And I know you're a master of small conferences. I know we got to work fast. I know there's a ton of games here on the docket that look good. I'm just going to start throwing games at you as fast as possible. We'll start figuring stuff out. Presbyterian at Winthrop. I know this is not the game probably everybody wanted to know about, but he's got such a great eye on Presbyterian. Opens Winthrop -5.5. Now 6s and 6.5 for Winthrop. And the total has gone down to 162.5. What are you thinking here?
Yeah, I'm definitely leaning towards the under in this game, and I'm definitely leaning towards Presbyterian. They're 11-3 ATS dog. They are playing the best team in the conference in Winthrop, but I think that tonight that they give Winthrop a good game, and I think that they may not win, but I think that they stay within 6 points.
Wow, already on Presbyterian and liking the under in Winthrop Presbyterian. That under is very, very appealing. I'm not sure if I'm going to make a move on it just yet. I'm going to kind of watch you break down these other games. Man, I wish I had this set up a little better for us, but let's just move on to stuff that I see right away. What do you think of the St. Louis George Washington spot that we just heard Jay Money on? St. Louis opens at 4-point favorites, now 5.5, 6, and the total's dropped a point to 128.5. St. Louis at George Washington.
Yeah, coming off that 30-point loss to St. Joe's, you got to think that St. Louis is going to be the play. The key for St. Louis is going to be the offensive glass. If they can get to their 14 offensive rebounds that they've been averaging in conference, I think that they get enough easy buckets to bypass the fact that they're going to be probably pretty putrid at the free throw line. But I will say that I am going on this game. I am taking a side. I will be taking George Washington. They've been a very good cover home dog in conference. And I think that with DJ Williams and Maceo Jack, you have two elements that can really give Hassan French and Tremaine Isabel trouble. So I'm going to say that George Washington plays up to St. Louis's level, and St. Louis just doesn't seal the deal at the end with free throws. So give me GW +6.
Wow, very, very exciting. Anthony Mastronetti, we'll get to all this. We got to be rolling as fast as possible, but Jay Money going up against Maxwell Smart in that spot. Let's keep rolling as fast as possible. Love the pace, Max. And, if I could take a little bit of time to tell you how much we love you, I would be doing it, but we don't have the time. Let's keep rolling. Abilene Christian at Nicholls State. You've been rolling with Abilene Christian all year long. Opens at 7-point favorites, and surprisingly, money coming in on Nicholls State, but the total's gone up 2.5 points. Abilene Christian, Nicholls State, Max.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me that money's coming in on Nicholls. Nicholls is a very good home team, and Albion's been very poor ATS in conference. I think that the key for Albion is just to play very good three-point defense versus this Nicholls State team. If they can maintain a 75% free throw percentage, control the boards, and force at least 17 to 18 turnovers, I think that they're able to cover this. I'm going to go with Albion Christian on the road one more time. I like them better at home. I like them in this matchup versus Jeremiah Jefferson, who's basically Nicholls State's offense. I think that guys like BJ Maxwell and Jalen Franklin have their way tonight. I think that they cover 6.5 points on the road.
Wow, covering 6.5 points on the road. Great breakdown. I have made my first move of the day. I am taking the under in Winthrop Presbyterian. I'm getting under 163.5 at -110 at UWager. Rolling with Max on that. He's also on Abilene Christian. I'm not going to make a move there. Northwestern State at Lamar. Lamar opens as 11-point favorites, now 10.5, some 10s. Against Northwestern State, Lamar total has gone up to 143 at some books. Pinnacle leading the charge, open at 141.5. What are you thinking there, Max?
Yeah, so if you bet on non-conference and you like to bet on these small conference teams that are predicted to finish in the bottom half, well, you probably know Northwestern State. Well, they've actually turned it around in conference. This is a team that's 8-3 away ATS, 7-4 in conference. They got a decent 6'8" center in Ishmael Lane, who's gonna do some dirt on the glass. He's gonna be a handful to take care of. I'm not sold on Lamar just as a double-digit favorite. They haven't been in this spot all year. And on paper, in conference, at least by conference numbers, Northwestern State keeps this game within 10 points. So I'm going to get a Northwestern State plus 10.5. I may even buy up to 11.
I like that call a lot. I'm very close, and you guys have seen the great work when I tail Max on some of these double-digit dogs that we do together. That is a very, very appealing spot that I'm looking at right there. Okay, let's roll. Let's roll with the game that we talked about on the early show. We talked just briefly. We talked about it just briefly. Sorry, let me get at it here. Why don't we start here? Why don't we hit Liberty at Lipscomb? Somebody in the chat. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out what games to tail while we're doing this, so I got a lot going on my plate right now. So if I can't get to some of the comments, I apologize. Liberty at Lipscomb. Lipscomb opens up as 8-point favorites. Now 7.5 and 7 money coming in on Liberty, and the total's gone up 2 points. What are you thinking here?
Yeah, obviously this is going to be a rematch of the game a couple weeks ago when Lipscomb went in and beat Liberty by 20 points. And unfortunately, I just don't see Liberty being able to do anything different in this rematch. Lipscomb in this point range has been very good ATS-wise. And if you're going to give me under 10 points with Lipscomb at home, I got to go with them because let's look at their last game. Rob Marbury was in foul trouble most of the game, and who stepped up? Eli Pepper. Eli Pepper had a career game last game out, and I think that guys like Kenny Cooper is going to step up tonight also. So you throw that in with Garrison Matthews, who is consistently on the floor, scoring points and making the offense move. I think that I got to just go with Lipscomb and go against my Liberty Flame. I think that the pack line defense is just not going to be effective enough versus Lipscomb tonight.
Wow, exciting stuff. Exciting stuff. That's going to be a great game, Liberty Lipscomb. But I am going to join Max with Northwestern State at plus 10.5. I'm seeing plus 10.5s at minus 110 across the board. That's Northwestern State. Northwestern State plus 10.5 at minus 110 market. Very interesting breakdowns. Let's move on to another spot here. Looking at this card, New Hampshire at Vermont. Wow, you won't believe this. Vermont opens as 30.5-point favorites at BetOnline, all the way down to 23.5. What are you thinking here, Max?
Well, this is something that I posted on Twitter earlier. I did get on New Hampshire plus 28. I am worried that Vermont covers this 23.5. I think that it's an attainable number. I think that my 28 is not safe either. So I've made this bet. I've posted on Twitter. I know that other people have tailed it. I'm sticking with New Hampshire, but I am definitely going to be closing my nose, closing my eyes, and taking a deep dive into these double-digit dogs tonight. So give me New Hampshire plus 28, which I got earlier. But as far as taking it right now, I would have to try middle and take Vermont.
Wow, interesting. And Max, I did want to talk about some of the spots you hit yesterday when you hit the first half on one side and one on the other side in the second half. That was spectacular work. But we got to keep going. We're keeping a great pace. NJIT at Florida Gulf Coast. We briefly touched on this game on the early show. More money kept coming on Florida Gulf Coast. Now 3-point favorites. The total stayed around 138 all day. Actually gone up a point in some books. NJIT at Florida Gulf Coast, Max.
Yeah, this first game that they played against each other is very fresh in my memory. I'm going with Zach Cooks. I'm going with Abdul Lewis, who is an NBA prospect that you're going to see in the league. I think that this NGIT team is just going to play really good 3-point defense against Florida Gulf Coast, and I think that as a 3-point dog, they have value on the spread and on the money line. Zach Cooks is a shot maker. You got Abdul Lewis as your rim protection. They win with defense. They limit the 3-point shot. They keep their opponents under 30%. If you keep Florida Gulf Coast off the foul line and force turnovers and win on the offensive glass, you are going to have a 10-5 ATS record on the road at the end of the night. I think that this NGIT team is also worth a look on the under. I think that this game is not getting to 138.
Wow, nice look on the under. I'm going to have to go back to that game. We are going to touch on those two 6:30 starts very soon. So you're on the under, and what was your side there?
I'm taking NGIT plus 3.
Wow, and the under. Very, very interesting breakdown. Don't worry, we'll get to those 6:30 games. Lafayette at Navy opens at 3, some 3.5s out there. Total's gone up 1.5 or 2 points. What are you thinking, Lafayette Navy?
Yeah, so Lafayette's been a really good dog, and they're obviously in a big revenge situation, and they're capable of scoring. I think that this game is going to be up and down. Navy and Army have showed me in the last couple weeks that they really want to just push the pace, even though the offense isn't very crisp. I think that Navy's going to want to do the same thing, but they're playing a Lafayette team that if they get hot from 3, you better watch the fuck out because they will stop shooting from 2 and they will launch 43-point shot attempts. I think that Lafayette is able to get to the line. I think that they're shooting 79% from there in conference. I think that they're going to go into Navy tonight, and I think that they're going to win outright. I think that they're winning on the money line. I think they're covering 4 points that I bought earlier. I just think that the free throw line is going to be the difference. And with Justin Jaworski and Alex Petrie and Miles Stevens, I think that they're going to get revenge tonight on Navy.
Wow, that's interesting. Jumping on Lafayette there. Let's keep rolling. You're keeping a great pace here. McNeese State at Stephen F. Austin. Stephen F. Austin opening at 6-point favorites, now 5.5. Total open at 144, up to 147 in some books. McNeese State at Stephen F. Austin, Max.
Yeah, so this is a game that I'm going to actually be playing one side first half and the other side full game. I'm going to be taking McNeese State full game, and I'm going to be taking Stephen F. Austin first half. I think that Stephen F. Austin's going to get off to a quick start. They're not trustworthy ATS full game at home or at the road so far this season, but Kevon Harris has really taken over this top dog role, and Shannon Bogues is really submitted to being the second option and the facilitator. I've been getting off to a good start tonight against McNeese. I think McNeese makes adjustments at halftime. I think that they cover 6 points at the end of the game.
Oh, wow. I'm close to tailing you there with McNeese. Kennesaw State at North Florida. North Florida opens its 14.5-point favorites, now 13 and 12.5. Money coming in on Kennesaw State. This total's jumped way up from 146.5 to 153. What are you thinking there?
Yeah, this is probably one of the biggest revenge spots on the card. When you're freaking North Florida and you lose as a 10-point dog to Kennesaw State, you have to probably be ashamed of yourself and really watch that film. Well, I watched that game over. Thank you to the Atlantic Sun Network for providing that. 24 turnovers was the reason why North Florida lost and didn't cover. They couldn't shoot the 3 ball. So simply, they got to dominate the offensive glass, and they got to take care of the ball. Garrett Sams and Aminu both turned the ball over 4 times in that game. That is completely unacceptable for guys that shouldn't be handling the ball that much in the first place. I think that Tyler Hooker is going to not get the same kind of help that he got in the first game from Byron Loxley and Bobby Parker and Danny Lewis. And I think that North Florida gets some revenge as a 13-point favorite at home. So give me North Florida minus 13.
North Florida going against the market move, but that makes sense. Okay, Max, let's hit these 6:30 games. We have Providence at Villanova. This goes off in 10 minutes. Villanova opens as 11-point favorites. Some money coming in on Providence. There's 10.5 in some books. This total's dropped a point or a point and a half, opening at 135.5. What are you thinking, Providence at Villanova?
Yeah, Providence is definitely a stingy team, but I think that they busted their nut in their last game, and I think that they're just going to be outclassed tonight versus Villanova. The keys for Villanova is Pascal and Booth have to be on, and that just has to just slow down for everyone else on the roster. You got to see Roundtree getting into the paint and either getting touches and getting some offense going or making the pass to the open 3-point shooter. 3-point shot's going to be very important versus this Providence team. I think that they're able to hit some 3-point shots. I think they're able to get to the line, and I think that they're able to speed Providence up to the point that they're just not comfortable enough. I was talking with our resident Providence guy, Dean Williams. He was telling me about the different lineups that Ed Cooley is putting out at the end of games and how they're just not being successful with them. Well, I agree with that, and I think that I'm going to be going on Villanova tonight. My last point is Ed Cooley's been coaching with anger instead of a teaching method. You've been able to see that when you watch their games, and I think that's going to resonate on his players. I think that Villanova routes tonight.
Wow, Villanova routes coming straight from Maxwell Smart. Also, Max, impossible for me not to notice that great-looking shirt on you. wearing your Peter Loshak shirt and looking damn good in it. We can't wait to have Peter back on the show. He will be back soon. We already talked St. Louis, George Washington. J Money's on St. Louis. Max is on George Washington. And then the other 6:30 game is South Carolina at Tennessee. Drew from the SBR Pro, from the SBR Forum, Drew is loving South Carolina. Loved it all day. Got it at 15.5. Only a half-point move at some books. You have a play here, South Carolina at Tennessee?
Yeah, so I actually wrote some notes down in this game because I had to remember, obviously, with the amount of games that I cap. Let's see if I can find it right now. And I cannot. Okay, so this game basically comes down to the first game. You really got to keep Tennessee off the free throw line. You got to keep them cold from 3-point range. If you let Grant Williams and Admiral Schofield go off, they are going to rout you. What South Carolina has to do better, what they haven't been doing lately, is making sure that they're taking good shots. I see a lot of contested shots. I see a lot of isolation. I don't see the good passing that I've seen earlier in conference from them. I think that Soba being on the floor is going to be very important. I think that A.J. Lawson has to have a good game. If A.J. Lawson isn't shooting the ball well and isn't making good decisions and turning the ball over, this could be a 25-point game. I'm not convinced that South Carolina can go into Tennessee and do that tonight. I'm taking Tennessee minus 15. I'm plugging my nose. I do not like taking this pick, but by the numbers and by the matchup and situationally, I just think that Tennessee has to keep rolling.
Tennessee, backing Tennessee. So Max is on Nova and Tennessee as big favorites at home, and George Washington, a home dog. Those are his plays at 6:30. I am staying off the 6:30 card. I've only jumped on 2 plays so far. Northwestern State plus 10.5 at minus 110, and Winthrop Presbyterian under 163.5 minus 110. That is available at UWager. All right, let's keep rolling right along here. A ton of games I'm looking at, a ton of games. What do we hit Max on with? How about Charleston Southern at Gardner-Webb? Gardner-Webb opening at 4-point favorites, now 4.5 at some books. The total's gone down from 154 to 152.5. Charleston Southern, Gardner-Webb. What do you think there?
Yeah, Charleston Southern's been a really interesting team. They've been running out different starting lineups and bringing their 2 top scorers off the bench in a couple games with Keeling and Fleming. The key for Charleston Southern is to get to the line, get fouled, be aggressive when you're taking it to the bucket, and then make shots, because this is a team that's going to play great D. And if they are hitting their threes, they're going to score a lot. And I think that they're a live dog tonight. I know that Gardner-Webb is a slow starter, and they started slow in the first game, and that really handcuffed them for the rest of the game. They weren't able to come back. I think that it's going to be the same kind of result tonight, unless Gardner-Webb is better from 3. I just think that they didn't shoot well. They fouled too much. But I just think that Charleston Southern, matchup-wise, and with their depth, they're able to take care of it tonight. And I think that as a plus 4.5-point dog, they have some value, and I'm going to take them.
Charleston Southern, 4.5-point dogs from Max. Hampton at Campbell. Campbell opens up at 6-point favorites, heavily juiced. So that means a little bit of money has come on Hampton. 5.5 minus 112 at Pinnacle. The total stayed around 153.5. Actually, it's gone up a point at some books. Hampton at Campbell, Max.
Yeah, so Fisher and Morrow for Hampton are coming off 61 points in their last game, and they're going to need that type of game to beat Chris Clemens, because we know what kind of scorer Chris Clemens is. He is the type of guy that will put in 45 to 50 points. I do not like Campbell in this spot giving this many points. I can very much see how people want to take Campbell tonight, and I think that Hampton is definitely just going to be the play. I think that in the first game, Campbell was able to be shut down a little because Chris Clemens just wasn't getting his offense going. I think that's a key to every Campbell game, and I think that tonight, if you're going to give me 6 points with Hampton, I have to take it.
Wow, taking the dog there, taking Hampton with 6 points. Let's keep rolling. Jacksonville at Stetson. We hit with Jacksonville last week as a big dog, and they won outright. Jacksonville at Stetson. Jacksonville now 4-point favorites. This total has been around 152 all day. What are you thinking here, Jacksonville at Stetson?
Yeah, so on paper, this game should be a 10-point win for Jacksonville. But if you watch Jacksonville, then you know that no lead is ever goddamn safe for this team. This team is always trying to slurp and serve you cock soup. They love to slurp it, they love to serve it. But I'm going to go with them tonight. I understand that the line opened at 1.5, and there's a lot of movement towards Jacksonville. I just think that in this rematch, Stetson just doesn't have the parts to keep pace. I like JD Note. I like Tyrese Davis. I think that Jacksonville's going to have a rebounding advantage. And I think that the only time that they've been a favorite at this point range was the game against Kennesaw State, which they covered. So I like to go on things like that. I like to say that teams know what odds there are for each game. I want them to know. I think that they know when they're a favorite or a dog. And I think that tonight, they're playing a team that's on a similar level as Kennesaw State. And even though they're on the road, I think that they're able to play a great enough game where they turn some offensive rebounds into 3-point baskets and cover this 3.5 to 4 points.
Wow. And Max, I have the opener bet online at -4. What book opened at -1.5?
The offshore books, I'm not sure which ones at the top of my head, but they were on SBR last night.
Wow. Wild. D-Lap says, is that the first ball ever invented? That's a good question, D-Lap. It does look like there's a bit of blood and semen on this side of it, so I would say yes. Let's move on to Colgate at Holy Cross. Colgate opens its 1.5-point favorites. Money comes in on Holy Cross, but books are all over the place. Pick 'em at Bookmaker, -1.5 at Bet Online. This total's dropped 1.5. Colgate at Holy Cross.
Yeah, this is a really peculiar line for me, and I just decide to ignore it. I'm going on what I know from watching both these teams. Holy Cross is a very slow, deliberate team. They have to make good passes, and they have to be in good positions to get good shots. Colgate is a very different team. They have Jordan Burns back. He got the rust off in his last game. He played like a freaking dog, freaking humping another dog. And he wasn't focused on basketball in my mind. But I think that when you have two dominant big men like Ivanauskas and Will Raymond who have been rolling, I think that you got to go with the big size. Not only can they play offense, they are very good rim protectors. And against a team like Holy Cross, who's going to try and drive and go for those reverse layups, I think that Colgate is just the choice. I don't understand the line. I think that on the money line of -1.5, -2, I think Colgate wins this game by 10 points. So I'll take Colgate.
Wow, Colgate by 10, says Max. Colgate by 10. Extremely interesting. May have to jump on that with you. Why don't we go to Houston Baptist at Central Arkansas? Central Arkansas opens as 4-point favorites, juiced. Now 3.5 at 3 at some books. Totals dropped 1.5 from 163.5 to 162 at some books. Houston Baptist at Central Arkansas, Max.
Yeah, this game reeks of upset Central. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play Central Arkansas in the first half because this is a team on a 3 or 4 game losing streak, and they really need to get back on track. So the 3-point shot has to be the difference for this team. And I'm just not confident in the fact that they just don't get killed by Houston Baptist tonight. So I'm going to take Baptist full game, and I'm going to take Central Arkansas first half.
Wow, I think I'm going to jump on Baptist with you, but why don't we jump on Incarnate Word, Southeastern Louisiana. You've had a great read on both these teams. Southeastern Louisiana opening at 11-point favorites, now 10.5, so money coming in on the big dog, Incarnate Word. What do you think here?
Yeah, I'm worried that this is a little too many points tonight because Southeast Louisiana will win games with their defense. This is a team that's going to play 25 to 28% three-point defense, and against a team like Wood, they need the three-point shot. The key for Louisiana is just to win on the glass and get Moses Greenwood and Marlon Vale going. If Marlon and Moses get going, this is a hard team to stop because you can really count on like 60 points from these two guys. And my issue is turnovers. Can the team cut down on turnovers? 11 a game is too much for the style that they play. They play a very fast, sloppy, like untamed type of way. So I sometimes think that they're playing street ball instead of collegiate ball, but we'll leave that for another day. I don't like teams that are careless with the ball. But I do like these two double-digit scores that they have, and I think that at least on the first half, they're worth a look. and I'll have to play it live for game.
Interesting breakdown. Man, I have jumped on a third play. I'm on Houston Baptist money line at plus 150. Houston Baptist money line at plus 150. Man, that was a very interesting breakdown with thinking you're going to back Incarnate Word. And I may do the same as well, Incarnate Word. Why don't we quickly move on to another spot? You've had a great read on American University all year. Loyola Maryland at American University opens at -8 at BetOnline. Now -7 across the board. Totals drop 4 points. What are you thinking there?
Yeah, this is a struggle for me because it's basically dependent on the 3-point shot. Loyola Maryland couldn't make a 3-point shot, but was yet to be able to stay within 10 points against American in the first game. Americans playing amazing 3-point defense. Look what they did to Army the other game. They blanked them. They went 0 for 17 from 3-point range. Saeed Nelson did turn his ankle, but he was able to stay in the game and almost got a triple-double. I like the fact that the freshman, Jacob Boonzith, has been able to really step up. He's becoming more than a 3-point shooter and really learning to take it to the bucket, with some force. He scored 17 points, really propelled American to a second half dominant half. So yeah. How I'm looking to play this game is I'm looking to play this game the over. I know that it was a really ugly first game and it barely got over and went over because of free throws. The numbers dropped 4 points. I like that. I'm going to jump on the other side and go against the movement. And I'm taking Loyola Maryland. I think that they hit the 3-point shot tonight. I think that now that they played this team in half film, I think that they stay within the number of American. And lately, I just can't trust them giving points.
Wow, great breakdown. Love these small schools. Steven Salas has Sam Houston versus Texas A&M, Corpus Christi. Sam Houston State opens -3.5. Now 4s across the board, 4.5 at Bovada. This total's gone up from 128.5 to 130. What are you thinking here?
Yeah, so Sam Houston State is probably your favorite team if you've been betting on them for the past month. They are the best ATS team in Division I collegiate basketball, and I'm worried about them tonight. This is a team that's 11-2 road ATS, and they really attack the ball handler. They do not let you just take the ball up. They do not. They don't let up on pressure. The key for this team is balanced scoring. When this team covers spreads and routes teams, they got 4 or 5 guys in double figures. They're hitting over 10 threes. They're getting to the line. And when you watch their games, they don't care about their stats. They are playing selfless team basketball. They make the extra pass to get that open look. And a team that plays lockdown defense, it's just really hard to go against. And I got to take Sam Houston State and keep on riding them until they lose, because this is a team 11-0 in conference. And I do respect what Texas A&M Corpus Christi can do and matches up against this Sam Houston State team, but I'm not getting in front of it. I'm riding Sam Houston State to the winner's window tonight.
Riding with Sam Houston State. Let's keep rolling. South Florida at UCF. UCF opens at 6.5-point favorites, now 7.5 at some books, and climbing. Totals drop 2 points. South Florida, UCF.
Yeah, this is a game that I'm going to be playing live because I have to see Alexis Yetna and David Collins on the floor for USF before I bet either way. If they aren't on, I'm jumping on UCF first half and full game. If not, I'm going to wait and play it at halftime.
Wait and play it at halftime, waiting for more information. Let's keep rolling. Massachusetts at George Mason. George Mason being 8-point favorites all day. This total's dropped 2 points from 138. Massachusetts at George Mason.
Yeah, well, Pippins most likely isn't going to play. And can you expect Carl Pierre to do what he did in the game against Davidson tonight against George Mason? Well, we've been trying to get on the other side of George Mason's spreads, and LaSalle almost beat them, but George Mason covered by a point. I think that Justin Kieran, Otis Livingston, and Jordan Miller, and my new favorite George Mason player, Javon Green, are able to cover the 8 points tonight at home. I think the second game without Luwani Pipkin is going to be a little too much versus this perimeter-oriented team. I look for Justin Kier to go off tonight. Give me George Mason -8.
Taking George Mason -8 is Maxwell Smart. Richmond at Virginia Commonwealth. Virginia Commonwealth opens as 12-point favorites. Money coming in on Richmond. The Spiders are taking money. Now you get plus 10.5 or plus 11 if you want Richmond. Also, the total's gone up 3 points to 140.5. Richmond versus Virginia Commonwealth, Max.
Yeah, I jumped on this line earlier. I was staring at the Pinnacle lines, and I saw that they're hanging a plus 11.5 minus 128, and I just instinctively jumped on it and told all my boys to get on it also. I really don't have basis for this because VCU plays 10 guys that no one plays 30 minutes a game, so they can roll out a lot of depth. And let's be honest, Richmond relies on Gilliard to lead this team, and he's playing over 30 minutes a game. So the depth for Richmond is definitely going to be tested tonight. But this is a rivalry game, and I'm going to take Richmond. I got them at 11.5 minus 128 at Pinnacle.
I'm going to jump on that with you. There's a plus 11 at minus 115 at Bet Online. I'm going to jump on that with you. Richmond Spiders plus 11 minus 115. Clemson at Miami. Miami opens up as 1.5-point dogs. Money keeps coming in on Clemson. Now you get plus 3 if you take Miami at home. What are you thinking? Clemson at Miami.
Yeah, I missed the good number on this Clemson game, but I'm definitely feeling Clemson should go in and rout. I feel like they're finally stepping up to what I said they were going to do in November because they've been slumping for a couple months. Sheldon Mitchell may have found his game again, and if Sheldon Mitchell's on with Marquise Reed and then Elijah Thomas, this is a really hard team to get in front of. So I've been reminded that I need to continue to back Clemson, and I will back Clemson tonight. I'm going to buy down to 2. I know it's going to be a lot of juice, but I just feel that this number is going to really matter at the end. And Miami's a stingy team, and I do not trust them. So I'm going to take it at the number I capped it, pay the extra juice. It's not going to be a popular choice. It's not a profitable long-term choice, but it's a tonight choice.
I agree. Clemson rolls. A lot of guys loving Clemson in the chat. Mohammed Joma called his play of the day. I'm on Clemson -3 at minus 105. Let's keep rolling. Duquesne at LaSalle. LaSalle opens at 1.5-point favorite. It stays there. The total's gone up 2 points up to 147. Duquesne at LaSalle, Max.
Yeah, so Duquesne obviously has been letting us down at home. The St. Bonaventure game was a perfect example of that. They weren't able to get the ball in the right position, get the right shot at the end of the game. But this is a team that has been playing very nicely on the road and very nicely in this small dog spot. They don't have to cover a lot of numbers to win this game. So I'm not going to be too emphatic about this, but I think that in this game, I think that they match up well, and I think that Duquesne has a good shot to win it. So I'm going to lean to Duquesne plus 1.5.
We're going to finish off this other conference quickly. Longwood at High Point. You've had a great read on these teams. High Point opens at 7-point favorites. Pretty much stays there, but Pinnacle's moved to 6.5. Total open very low, 125. Now we have 128s, 129s. Longwood at High Point.
Yeah, this game definitely could be an under 125. The issue with Longwood is, are they hitting their threes or not? This is a team that shoots 40 threes a game. If they hit their threes, then that's going over. If they don't hit their threes, they're not. The issue also roster-wise is Isaiah Walton. He hasn't been playing. Deshaun Smith and Lorenzo Phillips have really taken over the role of this team. They haven't been able to push them forward. I'm going to take High Point. I'm going to plug my nose. This is a game I could be regretting in an hour and a half, but I'm going High Point to get some revenge against Longwood from the game earlier.
Revenge. Interesting spot. I'm not going to jump on that with you. UNC Asheville, a USC Upstate. USC Upstate opens at 8-point favorites. Money swarms in on UNC Asheville. Total's also gone up 3 points to 132.5. What are you thinking here, Max?
Yeah, I'm buying up to plus 7 with Asheville. I'm taking them. I think that Asheville has South Carolina Upstate's number. I think that in the first game, they really exploited some weaknesses of them, and I expect them to do that again tonight.
I like that play. I'm going to jump on that play with you. Let's focus more action here, and there's just so many games, Max, and we haven't heard Max's LoBaggers play of the day. You know that is coming, and I'm excited to hear it. Let's talk Syracuse at NC State. Big game. North Carolina State 3-point favorites. Total at 143.5. Hasn't really moved all day. Maybe a half point to the under. Syracuse, North Carolina State, Max.
All right, well, speaking of my play of the day, we have arrived to it. I will be taking Syracuse first half plus 2 as my play of the day. I think that Syracuse is going to surprise this North Carolina State team. I think that they're going to frustrate them with the zone. I think that Syracuse is in February mode, and I think that tonight on the road as a small dog, they have a lot of value straight up money line, and I expect them to win this game. So I'm going to take them as the first half, just in case it's a tale of two halves, because there's a lot of that happening in college basketball, but I would definitely be leaning Syracuse full game too.
Wow. Syracuse first half is Max's play of the day. LoBagger play of the day. I've been following the last 8. Max is 5-3 right now on the play of the day. We don't have a lot of time, Max. We have to wrap up. There's some, so I just jumped on UNC Asheville, a +7. I'm also going to jump off on with you on the play of the day. It's been hitting. I'm going to hit Syracuse first half. Now, Max, there's some other spots here, and we can't get through them all. But God, you've been spectacular getting through them all. We never hit Northwestern. We never hit Illinois State, Indiana State, Minnesota, Fresno. Any of those games jump at you? And are there any plays you want to give up to this great group of LoBaggers?
Yeah, I got lots on that. So first off, I hate Boise State. They got a guy named Alston on his team. He's a fucking prick, and I hope he fucking gets hit by a fucking bus. I'm taking Fresno State, plain and simple, just because of that. I'm taking Minnesota because I just don't understand why they're a dog tonight against Nebraska. Nebraska has proven that without Isaac Copeland, that they just aren't the same. Lynn Watson is slumping. James Palmer is getting to the line, but he's not shooting a three-point well. And you never know what you can get from Isaiah Roby. Another team, Illinois State, don't know why they're an underdog. This is a team that has large potential written all over them. They go in, they win tonight. Indiana State versus Valparaiso. Don't know why Indiana State's a dog. Valparaiso needs Ryan Fazekas. I think Indiana State can hang within the number, if not win this game. What other game were you talking about? New Mexico. New Mexico and Utah State are both in good spots to cover the big favorite spot. And as my last tidbit, I think that Tennessee, Clemson, and going against New Mexico in the first half all have value. New Mexico is -137 at Pinnacle on the first half. I'm going to go against that, but take Mexico for the game.
Unbelievable stuff, Max. I jumped on Syracuse first half, but I took a money line. +120. Syracuse first half, money line at +120. I'm going to look into Minnesota. I might jump on that. I'm liking where Max's head's at on all of these plays. Max, you were spectacular. That was so many games. Sorry I didn't give you more time. God, you are such a huge asset to our team here at Low Shack in the Bag. These are the plays I'm tailing. I'm on Incarnate Word +11. Houston Baptist moneyline +150. Northwestern State +10.5 and -110. UNC Asheville +7 and -115. Winthrop Presbyterian under 163.5 and -110. Richmond +11 and -115. Clemson -3 and -105. And Syracuse first half moneyline at +120. Max, what a savior you are to the Low Shack and Bag fam. Thank you so much for joining us. Where can we find you on Twitter? What are you up to this week? And when you're done, could you please introduce none other than Freddy Fortune's Plays of the Future?
Well, you guys can find me at Maxwell Smart 420 on Twitter. I will be posting some free plays. I'm always down to answer a comment or a DM. So let's break it down. Let's make some money. Let's get rich together. Obviously, I want you guys to go cash these bets tonight. I want you guys to take your money to the local strip club. I want you to support local strippers. They need a trip to the keg. It's almost the weekend. Let's make enough money and let's support them tonight. Serve your bookies cock soup. Make sure you're tuning in 15 minutes for King Rail and J Money, because they're going to be dropping free money into your lap on that NBA card. And we know how J Money does in college basketball. We may be going head to head, but that is one serious goddamn capper. And without further ado, let me introduce to you the man who won't be yours, Freddy Fortune.
Wow, been a long time since we've seen Freddy Fortune.
Welcome back, Freddy Fortune.
Yeah, well, you're talking to yourself there.
Move.
You want me to move? Sure, you do.
I got a hernia on my back.
Yeah, I heard. We've been laughing about that for weeks.
Hey, everybody.
That's not where the camera is anymore.
I talk to whoever you want.
Sure.
Hold this for me, for your camera.
Sure.
Okay.
Europa League. I got a 2-game parlay. Hold that for me.
No, I'm done.
No.
All right.
J Money, that's my Twitter.
Oh yeah. Oh, follow me, J Money.
Yes.
Okay, sure. Yeah, he's on the show here in 14 minutes. I gotta make moves.
sorry.
Man. I got bets to make.
Arsenal over Bate Borisov at -250, and also Chelsea over Malmo at -252, which gives me a -105 parlay at Bet365.
Okay, you're pointing at nobody over there. That's fine. Can you please repeat your action one more time?
Yes,
For us?
Arsenal over Bate Borisov at -250, and also Chelsea over Malmo at -252. 2-game parlay at -105.
Wow,
at
very
Bet365.
impressive stuff. Very impressive stuff. Nice to have you back, Freddy Fortune. You put a smile on nobody's face. That's Freddy Fortune's plays of the future. Thank you for watching Low Shack in the Bag. Stick around for King's Court on in 13 minutes. Let's have a big night tonight. Big night tonight. Get back in the black, baby. Get back in the black. Leche, Alos Bookmaker.